So you're going to show my ugly face bad, huh?
Yeah. Would you identify yourself? Give me your full name.
I'm David H. Langley.
And what branch of service?
Marine Corps.
Rank?
Corporal.
Corporal. And what years did you serve, sir?
I served from 43 to 46. I was discharged April of 46.
And about 70 years ago next month, you will have been arriving on the shores of Iwo Jima.
Right.
Yeah, and
February
at this point,
the 19th.
What night? What night?
February the 19th.
February the 19th.
Yeah.
And here
6
we
o'clock
are
in the morning.
And here we are, Memorial Day of 2014. Did you ever imagine that you'd see?
Never thought it'd be alive that long. Yeah. It wasn't.
Certainly not then. You didn't.
It wasn't thought of being alive. It just being there the next day.
Yeah, at that point.
Yeah, at that point.
Yeah, yeah. How old were you, sir?
I was 19.
19 years old. Where had you been before you got to that?
Saipan.
Saipan?
Yeah. I was scouts and snappers in the 4th Division, and I was transferred into 11th Amphibious Tractor Battalion to haul I was amphibious operator, and I moved, joined the 5th Division and landed the 5th Division.
And your job was to move the vehicles around that carried people and equipment?
Yeah, and Amtrak from ship to shore.
Okay.
You know, and then after we get to the shore, well, then we were suppliers up to the front.
Okay.
See, we carry their
supplies. That's vital. The front is of no use without supplies.
Yeah.
Yeah. And were you therefore in harm's way? Were you fired upon?
Anytime you put your foot on Iwo Jima, you're in harm's way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just 2 mile at the widest, 8 mile at the longest, and 1,000 feet at foot of Suribachi.
And what ship did you come in on?
Oh, LST.
Oh, well, but the ship that brought you all this distance, though, was what?
Yeah, LST. Flatbed made us.
Oh, I understand. From the ship to the shore, but how about the ship? What ship was that you were on? Am I getting it wrong?
Yeah,
the USS.
We drove. We come from Hawaii.
Yeah.
In an LST.
Oh, okay. See, I didn't understand that.
20-some tractors on there.
Okay.
Okay. We unloaded that, pulled up to a troop ship. The troops get on.
Okay.
We take the troops to shore.
All right. Okay. Yeah, good. See? That's good.
Then they'll go back and get supplies or go back and get more troops.
The Japanese let all the GIs get on the shore.
Up to third wave.
Before they opened fire.
3 waves. Yeah, it was crammed. The shore was crammed full. They kept pushing men in.
With nobody firing at them at first.
Well, yeah, we were getting some fire from artillery fire, but we wasn't getting no small arm fire. They were all
because they were holding back, waiting for everybody to get to shore.
Waiting to get a crowd in.
Yeah, which would crowd them in.
Yeah.
Yeah. Were you a part of that group? That came one of the first 3?
I was the first wave.
Oh my goodness, sir.
Red Beach 1. I was at the foot of Suribachi. And then I served the troops that went up Suribachi. It was my job to feed them ammunition and trucks.
All right.
And we never drove a Amtrak on rocks before. It was always mud and reach. So it was work in progress.
And you had the volcanic ash also that was really loose.
The beach was you couldn't even walk in it, hardly run, much less run.
Sand has got more traction than this stuff does.
The Jeeps, the ducks, the ducks one that had the 4 wheels and a turret, the ducks couldn't make it up there at all.
Right.
They had to lay.
You had everything against you.
You had to lay steel track for them.
And then they had those catacombs and all those things. In fact, when we did all the firing, they just hunkered down and then they would spring back up.
Well, see, the information we got that we were going to be there 48 hours, and it was like a combat maneuver. We're going to put the flag up, load back a ship, and we were going to Okinawa. We were spearheading near Okinawa.
You're supposed to keep, yeah.
And how they got that information that wrong, because that was an old sulfur mine, and they were 5 stories down below.
Catacombs, I heard it referred to.
Yeah. They anywhere they wanted, they all connected, so they would come out in far and go back if you didn't get them. And it is hard to advance enough to get to and seal them entrance off.
My understanding too is that when they thought they got rid of one, they'd go look at another. Someone would pop back up on the one they got rid of already. So
Yeah, they brought flamethrower tank things in and burn them out, and then they bring a tank, a dozer tank, and fill it full. And that's the only way, because they could come from anywhere and come back out there again and come behind you.
That's the whole thing, and nobody knew where that would be.
Right.
Yeah.
It was but how our information, how they said that the ships and the airplanes, Air Force had annihilated all the Japs. There wasn't none left. And there was just 22,000 of them left.
The sound of the ships hitting the shore went on for hours, didn't it? It must have been deafening.
Oh, yeah.
And it must have been unreal that it was just not. There were something like 8,000 shells or more.
All the Missouri and all the big ships was lined up, battleships, and that out about 3 mile. And they dumped us out 3 mile. We picked up our troops out 3 mile out and we had to go around those battleships. And the concussion was so bad, the hatch would fly up on your
again and again
every
and
time
again.
That hatch would jump up.
Okay, then after the war, what happened after the war? Did you come home to Michigan at all?
Never come home.
Oh.
I left as civilian and come back as civilian. When I inducted into St. Louis, they said there's troops leaving in 48 hours, and if you go now, you'll get 20 days when you come back, when you get out of boot camp. And I said, well, I just left home, so I'll take the trip now. Well, they said you go home, stay 10 days, and come back. So I took the help out to go in 48 hours, and I was inducted in St. Louis. Went to San Diego, California. That's where I took my boot training. And after boot camp, 1/3 of the people got to leave. That was the married people and the kids, which was fair, but it didn't help us any. And they sent me up to line camp, and I had fired expert, and I didn't know that if you fired experts, you was automatically scouts and snappers. If you fired 40 or 50, you were cooks and bakers.
You're talking about back in the beginning when you were still, it was still in front of you.
That's in the boot camp.
And okay.
And the first weeks of training.
Yeah, and they found out, and you all found out that you weren't going to be a baker.
I was raised on a farm, and I hunted since I was 10-year-old.
Exactly.
So a rifle wasn't new to me.
Right.
But the people that raised in the city had never fired a rifle. And when they went off, they scared.
I think of Sergeant York off the top of my head here. You have that real experience. Yeah.
So I was scouts and snappers, and they sent me up to a scouts and snapper school, and I was up there about 4 months, and they shipped us to Hawaii. And then we went from there. We were put aboard one of them C-53 transports and took to Saipan, and it was a mop-up operation. They were just replacing and letting the guys come home.
At that time. Mm-hmm.
And I was called out of there and sent back to Hawaii when that was over, and I joined the 11th Hand Track, and we trained with the 5th Division. They left the States, and their base then was in Hawaii. And
what year are we talking now, do you think, sir?
We're talking about 43 and 44.
Okay.
44, where they come in, and winter of '45 is when we went to Iwo Jima.
Okay. Yes.
And
Yeah.
when that was over with, they put, there must have been 3,000, 3,500 on a big troop ship. Just, you could only get 2 meals a day. And stand in line all the time. Is either sleep a little and stand in line to get something to eat.
And going to the latrine had to be impossible.
Everything was tough.
Yeah.
And also they had a sick bay on there that people should have been flew out or somewhere, and we had a lot of. We had some barrel at seas on the way, and that was kind of heartbreaking to see them guys go.
Okay.
And we got back to Hawaii then, and got to replacements, and trained again was going into Japan.
Did you know that though yet? Did you? My understanding was a lot of GIs didn't necessarily know until they were almost there where they were going next.
Well, there was nothing left of Japan. There's fighting Formosa then, and when Formosa was the jumping board to Japan, and so what we were training for, that's all that's left. And so our training was over, and we waited for a convoy to come from the States. They loaded our stuff aboard ship and gave us a 3-day pass, and we're supposed to go to. We was in the Big Island in Hawaii.
And where were you for that 3-day pass in Hawaii?
No, I was up. We jumped. Me and a couple more country boys jumped off the truck and went boar hunting. And so we're supposed to be in a hotel in Hilo.
Now this is at the end of everything, right?
This is when they dropped the atomic bomb.
Oh my goodness. That's right. Yes.
See, they dropped the atomic bomb, and
where were you at the time? Out hunting.
Up hunting.
Yeah, they're dropping the bomb and you're out hunting.
Yeah, I'm trying to have. I thought that'd be my last good time. You know, we was going to Japan.
Yeah, he was scheduled to go in for the invasion.
Yeah, we were going, and they
until
said
this point
said the first 5,000 landing would take that to clear the beach.
Yeah,
and we'd lose them.
Of course.
So we just took our pack and got off and took a 3-day hunting period up, and we come socking in something Monday morning, and everybody else done been called to camp, and we were missing action because a lot of going on, shooting, fighting, everybody celebrating. So all they do is call all the troops back to camp, so they keep them separated. And so when we got back to camp, we didn't know that the war was over.
Right.
And we were so we were kind of frowned on, and we had to go see the man. And we were a little battalion down on the beach. We didn't even have a brig so they just confined us to camp for a week. This is my best friend I met after I got in there. Well, this is a good guy, but him and I was raised about 10 miles apart and didn't meet till we got in the Marine Corps.
Okay.
And every time I'd get transferred, he'd get transferred. So we were in the same outfit through the war.
And is that you on the right?
And yes, me on the right.
Handsome.
And
good-looking man.
We
still is.
Yeah, well, of course.
And we met. He was discharged 3 days before I got my discharge, so he got a room in L.A. I met him there, and so we come across the country together, coming home. Changed trains in Kansas City. Got a little looped and left all of our gear there.
What?
Got a little looped.
Yeah.
A GI on leave? How odd.
No.
Very
Who his life.
What was this picture?
That's what we call the PX, or the slap shoot. That's the beer camp there in Hawaii.
Did they have something .0 beer, wasn't it? Near beer?
Yeah. No, we had 2 beers, but it's just allowed 2.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you seen this picture? Are you just seeing this for the first time? Or are these the old?
These. No. I had gotten some of these blown up because they were original. This is like the original prints.
There you go.
And
here, that's the amphibians that operate.
Okay.
See, that's.
Yeah.
Now, are you driving that thing?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That's what a whole 26 men in that.
Got it.
Besides the crew chief and the radio operator.
You were responsible for all that, getting them there safely.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful. What are you thinking when you look at these? Does it seem like
To God we make it.
Yes, sir.
It's just
This picture was made in Hawaii on leave. That's another picture of the slop shoot. Here's me getting a shoe shine
There you go.
in Wadaluku.
Well, you stand just
That's
straight up.
on
right?
Maui, on the little island, Maui.
Okay. Yeah, yeah, very good. On Memorial Day 2014, we're remembering our veterans who made really today possible.
Great.
Thank you for that service.
Now, I got to go get to eat.
That's right. Let's get on with this thing.
Well, they're going yeah, he's game. He used to send missiles up over Japan. China's another. Oh, that. Holly Gardens, remember Holly Gardens? I think Holly Gardens.
What do we got here, sir?
This is my discharge and medals and my credentials to the.
Well, let's start up at the top up here. This is the memorial in Washington, D.C.?
That's the raising flag in Iwo Jima, and I was down about 1,000 feet. I seen that flag raised.
You actually saw the
Oh, yeah,
famous event that we all know?
Yes, I seen it. I seen the first one. I didn't see the second one.
Well, the first one, yeah, was
first
the real.
one was the important one.
Yeah, that's right. They climbed to the top of the hill and they found a pipe, is what I understand. And,
Yes, and put a flag up on it.
and raised it up together.
Yes.
And so now what we see here is you, right up here,
Yes.
handsome young man.
That 17-year-old there, that's when I was recruited in the Marine Corps.
Uh-huh.
When I took that when I got out of boot camp. And this was in Hawaii, just before we went to Iwo Jima.
How old were you then?
I was 18.
Not knowing what was coming.
No.
Any other thoughts come to your mind here as we look at all this?
Yeah, here's a shot of it. I was married 65 years, and so I couldn't let my wife go, so I got her in here in the Memorial Gardens. This is my wife's ashes, and we're going to be buried together at the cemetery.
Always together. You've had a rich life, you know. You have friends and you have family. And
This is a cinnamon. When I was in cattle business, she'd done cremate, so she built me this bull.
that's the whole family?
That's me and the boys.
Oh, what boys are these now?
Yeah, Fred. 3 boys and me.
There you go.
Yeah. Here's the old cowboy.
Let me make sure I get that. There we are. Is this your...
I stayed with her till I was 11 years old. That's my grandmother.
Okay.
That's just a picture of the swimming pool.
This is a fine looking book.
Yeah,
And
Steve.
that's your son and that's you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is some of Steve's work.
Oh, that's what he does, huh?
That's me and my wife.
Okay.
Steve.
All right. You have had quite the life here, I must say.
That's
Yeah. Yeah.
that's the boy. It's up
Yeah.
at Traverse City.
Okay. Oh, yes, of course. Yeah.
Yeah, that's.
How about
That's what
that?
that is. Me in the garden.
There you
We're
go.
out there in the woods cutting wood.
Oh, boy.
Dog's always with me.
Yeah, that's right. I got a couple myself.
And at Traverse City, they have a big tractor show there for a week.
Uh-huh.
And that we went year before last. We went
were
to
up
that
there.
tractor show and seen it. And the boys were raised up on the International when I was at one farm. They had to broke their started about 11 or 12-year-old riding that International.
Dave's Memories. That's a wonderful book.
Sure is. New ceilings, new walls, new floors. And you well.
Your son says you don't know how to sit still very long.
No, couches don't make for me.
Not couches not make for you.
They were, trying to slow me down, and I said, you know, I hope I drop dead out there.
Just out, yeah.
All I was left in the mud and picked
Yeah,
up.
as they say about Bing Crosby, he was out on the golf course when he was taken.
That's right.
Yeah, that's right. Out playing, having fun.
Yeah.
That's how you want it, right?
Yeah.
Just take me now.
Just keep me out of them nursing homes.
That's right.
Me while I run here to life.
No tubes. No tubes.
No tubes.
Yeah.
I done cut that down. I said, don't start
You
that
ever seen
out.
this?
How long have you lived here?